Excuse me.
Yes, can I help you?
Yes, I wonder if you could give me some information about your satellite TV channels.
Yes, of course. Have a seat.
Oh, thank you.
Could I just take a couple of details before we get
Sure,
started?
sure.
Could I just start with your name, please?
Richard Woolley.
Sorry, so that's Wooly?
Nearly. Double L E Y.
Okay, thanks. And a contact number for you, Mr. Woolley.
095 3583 2948.
095 3583 2498.
2948.
I'm sorry, 2948. Sorry about that. And just one more. Your home address, please. You live in Brentstone, I assume.
Oh, yes, all my life. The address is 24 Hartwell Gardens, Whittle, Brentstone.
24 Hartwell Gardens. Is that Hartwell Heart?
H-A-R-T.
And I'm sorry, the village name.
I can see you're new in the area.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, the village is Whittle. That's W-I-T-T-L-E.
Okay, thanks very much. Now, have you looked at the TV packages we offer?
Yes, I have, but to be honest, I don't understand the pricing very well.
No problem. I can explain all of that. So what kind of programs do you like to watch?
Well, I like the news, documentaries, the History Channel also. I'm not a keen sportsman, so I can live without the sports channels. So, how flexible are the packages? Can I just pick and choose?
Well, there are 3 packages you can choose from. They all have slightly different prices and different content.
Let's see. Which one would you recommend for me?
Well, let me just give you the quick overview of the 3 plans and then you can decide which is going to be best.
Okay.
Well, we've got the standard, the extra choice and the ultimate choice.
I see.
So with the standard, you get 29 channels in total, which include 2 news channels, 5 film channels and 3 sports channels. Here's the full list. And as you can see, the price for that one is £26.99 a month.
Well, I don't really need 3 sports channels.
Okay, well with the second plan, the extra choice plan, there are no less than 9 news channels, 18 film channels and a very wide range of educational programs, including 3 history channels.
Well, that certainly sounds interesting. How much is that?
That one's £34.49 a month.
Okay, and the last option?
Okay, the third package is the top of the range. So with this one you get the same news, but you also get an extra 30 films a month, so 48 in total. And then in addition you get a huge range of international stations, most of which you can watch in English.
Okay, and does that include the history channels?
Yes, it certainly does.
Okay, so how much is that one then, please?
That's just under 50, £48.99 a month. But actually there is a special offer at the moment. So if you sign up before Friday, you get 12% discount and a free DVD player.
Well, I don't want to rush into anything. Thanks for all your help. Can I take this information away with me?
Yes, of course.
So,
and if you need
what do
any
you think
more
we should
help.
focus on for the media workshop?
Well, I think we should stick to what seems to be happening with the tabloids and leave the broadsheets out completely.
Okay, so simply focusing on tabloids then?
Yeah, I think so, and I think our starting point could be the readership figures. I mean, I think the reason they're going up is our main reason for wanting to analyse the market, and I think the figures themselves have quite an impact, so they're a good starting point for that reason too.
Okay, so we'd start with the readership statistics as an introduction.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
Sounds like a good start, so where would we go from there?
I think we need to address the content of the tabloids.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, we need to include examples of the kind of news stories that we get in tabloids these days, and the style they're written in.
Don't you think most people are aware of that already? I mean, also, how many examples would be good to include if we did that?
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, I think we need something. What about a short description of the typical content of a tabloid?
Yes, I think that would be better. We could and probably should do that.
Okay, and then possibly include some real examples?
Well, let's leave that for the moment and see how we get on.
Okay, well, from there, I think we need to explore the reasons why readership has increased so significantly.
Absolutely. So which possible explanations shall we give?
I think we need to talk about the profile of the readers and the fact that the number of people with this profile is increasing. That's surely one of the main reasons.
I'm not sure it is, actually. I think the strategy of the tabloids to reduce the price of the daily edition by, almost 40%? That's the main reason.
You're probably right. Let's start with that then. And the reader profile?
Well, I think the other reason is the poor marketing of the broadsheets.
But I thought we were going to limit this to the tabloids.
Okay, yes, we should.
So, sorry, are we going to include the reader profile? I mean, we need to talk about the market for these publications, don't we?
We do. Okay, then. And what about including the online presence of the tabloids and what they're doing?
Well, hang on. I think there might be other more important factors before that. Let's come back to that.
Sure, so what else? So it's only a small group session. How are we going to present it? Just take it in turns to speak about each point? Or you talk about the first half and I talk about the second?
I was thinking it might help our grade if we make it a bit more interactive.
Oh, really? So do you have some ideas of how we can do that?
Well, yeah. I think we could start with a very short list of, say, 3 questions about the tabloid market. You know, circulation figures 5 years ago compared to today. That kind of thing.
Okay, and then we could answer some of those questions one by one as we go through our presentation.
Yeah, that could work well. And I thought we could do something similar with the reasons for the increase.
How do you mean?
Well, we could give everyone a list of the reasons and then ask them to put them in order of influence.
So they rank each reason according to how much they think it influences the market?
That's right. And then we could show them an OHP containing the actual data, and they compare what they predicted to the real situation.
It sounds great. I think they'd enjoy that.
Yeah, and I think that could then lead onto an interesting discussion about the main influences on the market.
Hello, can I help
Great,
you?
let's go with that.
Oh, hello. The lady at reception told me to come here. I'd like some information about a media course.
Well, I'm a teacher on the media programs, so I can probably help you.
Okay. Well, actually a friend of mine enrolled in this course last year and enjoyed it very much. So that's why I'm interested. I would definitely like to enroll.
Okay, right.
What I'd like to know is whether there's anything I need to do before the course starts. Any reading, for example?
Actually, you'll be given a reading list at the beginning of the course, and we guide you in terms of what you need to read and when. What we do ask, however, is an article written by yourself covering a recent issue. You're free to choose whatever issue you like. I can give you more details about that.
Okay. And would it be possible to sit in on one of the lectures that are running at the moment?
That's not something we usually do, and the course is full at the moment, so there would be a bit of a space problem.
Okay, I see. Could I ask you about the facilities here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, well, first of all, the library. Because I'll be coming here in the evening, does the library stay open until late?
Weekdays until 9:30, and at the weekend it closes at 8. On this course, you'll be eligible for a part-time student library card, which entitles you to take out a maximum of 10 books at any one time.
Oh, I see. And the other thing was the canteen. Is that also open in the evening, and do you know if they do vegetarian meals? I may have to come straight from work and have something to eat on the campus.
Yes, it's open until 8:30, so you would have time to eat something beforehand. Regarding vegetarian meals, they certainly do have them, but you may need to ask them to keep one aside for you, if you're sure you're going to eat there. I'm sure they won't mind doing that, even on a regular basis if you want them to.
That sounds good.
Would you also be interested in the Careers Advice Service? They can help to explain the options you'll have available to you at the end of the course.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, I'd recommend it. The staff are excellent. They'll go through your career objectives with you, give you a list of companies that might be a good match for you, and help you with the job application process too. And it's free.
That does sound good.
Are you aware of our new media centre, by the way? It wasn't open last year, so perhaps your friend didn't know about it.
A new media centre? No. What is it exactly?
Well, it's a great idea. It's a space where you can experiment with all kinds of media.
So, I can go there and make a video, you mean?
You can make a video, a radio broadcast, a small newspaper or magazine. All the technology is there for you to play around with, get familiar with, and see how things work, and be as creative as you like.
Wow, that does sound great.
You will get a full induction in the first week of term, and also in the first week you can form a small study group with other students if you want to. If you prefer to work on your own, that's perfectly okay also.
I see.
Also, new this year is an assignment which will involve everyone spending quite a bit of time in the new media centre. It will contribute 12% of the end of year assessment, but again, I can give you more information about that.
Good morning, everyone.
How
In
interesting.
today's lecture, we'll be looking at recent developments in the online media market. Time is running out for many publishers. If they don't generate revenue from their online content soon, it's hard to see how they'll all survive. But that said, when consumers are asked if they would pay for online content, the answer is usually a resounding no. So where is all this going? Well, despite customer resistance, several pay-for-content models are starting to emerge. The media mogul, Rupert Murdoch, has just announced his decision to begin charging readers of the website of his News Corporation newspapers within the next 12 months, he says. Murdoch, who, as you know, owns titles such as the Wall Street Journal, the New York Post, the Times, the Australian, among others, says that the current business model of journalism is malfunctioning. In a recent statement, he said, "We are now in the midst of an epochal debate over the value of content." Now, one of his publications, the Wall Street Journal Online, already requires a subscription fee, but this is the first time the billionaire has indicated that the rest of his titles will be subject to a paywall. Considering Murdoch has been in the business for more than 50 years, when he makes a move like this, you better believe the managing directors of other newspapers across the world will sit up and take notice. The problem is that online advertising is failing to recoup the kind of finances needed to keep newspapers in the black. The ad revenue for print has long been taking a nosedive, even before the beginnings of the economic meltdown. There are fears in the industry that this fall in advertising revenue could have a knock-on effect on the quality of news reporting, and even on democracy itself, if there aren't the reporters or resources to cover stories adequately. Now, we can't blame newspapers owners like Murdoch for drawing a line in the sand and declaring free content to be a perk of the past. But there are major players saying that the paywall is already history. Ariana Huffington of the Huffington Post is more optimistic than most about journalism's future. She believes we're in the middle of a golden age for news consumers, and we now have to look towards a linked economy. What this means is that the money-making potential lies in search engines, online advertising, citizen journalism, and independent outfits. The future, she says, does not lie behind a paywall, and the restriction of information is not the way forward. Pay-for-content plans do, however, seem to be working for the likes of the Wall Street Journal Online, which made $60 million in 2009 and is continuing to do so nicely against its competitors. The Financial Times website is also profiting, it seems, with online subscriptions of between £2.99 and £3.99 per week. In March, subscription rates rose 9% to 109,000, while the FT Group's posted profits rose 8% to £195 million. So why are subscriptions working for these publishers? The answer is probably quite simple. These websites are able to get the subscriptions and make profits because they provide unique information, and this is the kind of information decision makers will pay for. The prospects of premium subscriptions for general interest news websites is seemingly less rosy, if not an impossible dream, at least for some. So what is the way forward for sites like the Times Online, the Telegraph.co.uk, and others? Well, it seems publishers may be looking at charging for content piecemeal. Publishers are looking across their networks to identify which individual sections and features might be chargeable. How about new value-added services like databases and research, for example? Well, it seems that kind of diversification may not be necessary in all cases. Despite the consumer resistance already mentioned, it does seem that some readers would be prepared to pay, if not happy to pay, for some general interest news. In a recent survey, 67% of a group of online readers said they would pay if 1. They could be sure about the article's reliability, and 2. If they could only pay for the articles which interested them. As I'm sure you realize, this is a significant finding. What's more, the same group felt that between 80 and 90% of news websites had no value to them at all. So the feeling here, it seems, was that they needed news which was more targeted to their interests. These consumers are looking for news which is far more personalized. Again, the Wall Street Journal Online seems to be responding to this trend by developing its own system to charge small sums to users for individual articles, and it's likely they'll focus on readers interested in, for example, energy, commodities, wealth management, and other niche areas. So, for your assignment this week, I'd like you to look into this idea and see what you can develop in your groups.